World of Wellness. This is Wellness Week 105, and we're super excited. We have close personal friend of mine, mentor, and the guy that's really put together the program on having a strategy of how to get from allopathic, the leap from allopathic to functional medicine and nutraceuticals. So before we get into that, I just want to let everyone know we are live this week at World of Wellness. We're here until 7 p.m. tonight, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 8 to 5 and Saturday 8 to 4. If you'd like to participate, come on in. That's NOT, do not need to be a patient or a customer. All you need to do is come on down. We have many activities to participate in. We're doing a few workshops each day. We got healthy treats in the kitchen, Dr. Len. We got of course, the protein bites, which are super clean. Clean. Coconut oil, some rolled oats. Those are great, and peanut butter. And then we have the Rice Krispie peanut butter treats, a classic and a fan favorite. So we got treats, we got smoothies going on in the kitchen, we have healthcare professionals that answer questions. If you come in, you can do the little trick or treat during the holidays and pick up your travel sizes for free, including things like Argenta Silver, the Copper, Probezyme, Calm Day, Sleep Time, Air Max, Immunomax, so many great travel sizes for free to take with you. So you can enjoy those throughout the holidays, take them with you on your trips, put them in your briefcase, or give the gift of health. So if you'd like to participate, come on down. Free parking in the front and back. If you can't make it physically, you'd like to go to our website, go to wowpgh.com. That's WOWPGH.com. And if you want to go old school, pick up the phone, let your fingers do the walking, call 412-922-WELL. That's 412-922-9355. You get deep discounts no matter if you come in, go to the website, or call. So we appreciate all support, and we're excited to see everyone this week. So any questions, you can let us know on the chat during this live broadcast, or you can just give us a call at the office. So we have, of course, the guy that was a pioneer and still a pioneer in functional medicine. He's got a degree from Duquesne University School of Pharmacy, one of the top pharmacy schools in the world, right here in Pittsburgh, PA. He played professional football for the Pittsburgh Ballers. He's been a pharmacist, naturopathic medical doctor, CCN, certified clinical nutritionist, and a dear friend and colleague of ours at Nutritional Frontiers, and now he's a brand ambassador for NF. He's a speaker on the circuit, and he's been doing some new roles in his retirement, because anytime he tries to retire, we don't let him. This is his new version of retirement, which is helping out other healthcare professionals and their patients. And today he's going to help us with all of the people watching. So he's going to talk about making that leap from allopathic to functional medicine and nutraceuticals in a very safe and effective way. So let's hear it for Dr. Len Brancewicz. Crowd's going crazy.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, fans. Can I say something first? That if all of you that are listening right now, the concept of World of Wellness is something that Jamie's worked on for a long time. I mean, it's been there for a while. But when you see the operation of what's going on there and the educational potential and the different practitioners, and each time that I make the travel into Pittsburgh and I get a chance to see the World of Wellness, I just hope that you in Pittsburgh or wherever you're listening right now realize what you have. There's nothing quite like that place. There's nowhere that you can go to get the quality of education, number one, the quality of the supplements, number two, and see smiling faces, number three. It is a unique opportunity. It's not far from anywhere. And seriously, you may say, hey, I don't have time. You don't need much time to make the trip down there and go see what a true health practitioner setting is really like. It is fabulous. I like it. And I really think if you are going to be listening to shows like this, if you're going to be listening to Jamie and the whole crew and continually learn, you got to go down and see them face to face. You got to know what they're all about. And it's a true joy to be a part of that. And I just wanted to say that in the beginning.
Thanks, Dr. Len. We appreciate all the support and all the love. we wanted to keep the legacy going with Dr. Weiner. Started originally with the Pain Release Clinic in Southside, then the Weiner Wellness Center, and now we have World of Wellness. This is our gift to the community. We do this because we want to help people. We're on a mission here to make the world healthy. And we are building a team here. We have incredible staff right now with Dr. Orbach and Dr. Phil and functional nutritionist Alicia. Our new team at the front desk, anchored by Grace. How we doing, Grace? Doing an incredible job during the Wellness Week. We have Joe Messino at the front desk.
Hey.
We have Phil in the studio. We have Kevin in the store. So we're here to help people so that they are doing the right things and help them overcome some of the challenges, because there's so much misinformation out there right now. Once the internet opened up, it's become like the Wild West. So there's some great information out there. So I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. There is some great information and some education. However, you have to sift through it. So why not lean on professionals? And everyone needs help with structure. I mean, just to get the maintenance, if you have any aches and pains. And chiropractic is not just for neck and back injuries anymore. Chiropractic is for overall wellness and health. And you need to really work on the structure first. Then you can go deeper on some of the other areas. But it's really important. So thanks, Len.
And let's get started to say the name of this talk is Making the Leap. Is it really a leap? I mean, how far do you have to jump to get from where you are right now and take a deep, definitive look at the current medical model? I started this subject matter out when we do this as a teaching by doing an interview I did with doctors. I called a lot of friends, a lot of people that know me, and I said, let's talk about this leap thing. What do you think of a naturopathic or a more holistic approach toward medicine? That was the question. What do you think? Here's the answers. A, I don't know anything about it. B, I don't want to know anything about it. C, it's easier to just say no to my patients. Fourth, I'm in a hurry. Fifth, I can't control anything over the counter. And lastly, and this is what I want to talk about for a minute here, Jamie, they continually bring up, what about quality? It's not FDA approved. And that's one of the reasons, folks, in my 30 plus years of doing this, I've been exposed to 30 different companies, 40 different companies over the years. A lot of them are very good. A lot of them are still around. A lot of them have gone by the wayside. But there's only been one company that has stuck by me through good times and in bad, has made the commitment to stay off Amazon, has made the commitment to help me if I was doing private labeling or I was doing a promotion of some sorts on a specific product. They were there, Jamie was there, the crew was there, the teaching was there, and it helped me to make my practice more effective and more focused. So Jamie, just talk to us again about your feelings about the FDA approval, because that to me is a big misconception that most doctors have.
You look up their website. So I want to show people, they can go to nutritionalfrontiers.com, Len. We built this six-figure website, when COVID hit, because we wanted a place for people to go that the education and research was of sound. So if you go to quality, so you go right there in the second bar, you just go to, let's go to certifications. So what this does, Len, is it actually illustrates what's going on. So the first thing is the Shea Act. You remember, this is 1994, Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act took supplements and put them in its own food-based category. What this did was that it created some strong standard operating procedures for manufacturing with the ultimate goal with the GMP guidelines, good manufacturing practices. The ultimate goal and objective was purity and potency, right? So the Shea Act did that. It also allowed the FDA to come in and help with some oversight with the facilities. So they are FDA inspected. Nutritional Frontiers is a USDA, FDA registered facility. So we are registered under the FDA. They do audit and inspect the facilities, and they actually do certify the ingredients. Remember, grass, GRAS. The ingredients are approved for safety, generally regarded as safe. So, the FDA is involved, which is a good thing. We have our own classification. What they don't do is approve it to diagnose, cure, or prevent a disease, because as soon as they do, it doesn't matter if it's a natural ingredient or a pharmaceutical, that becomes a pharmaceutical, a prescription item, right? And we've seen a lot of changes over the years, going back and forth from over-the-counter to prescription to back to over-the-counter. So one is the SHEA Act, two is the FDA registration. Go down a little bit more, you see our GMP certification. All of our manufacturing facilities are certified GMP. So what that means is that they're guaranteed 100% for purity and potency. The problem with this, or the concern, is that you can use cheap ingredients, right? It's like McDonald's says 100% beef, and so does Capital Grille. Is there a difference? Yeah, absolutely. So if you go up back to the top, Phil, and we're going to go down and show what this really looks at under the quality, is when you get to patented, research, trademarked ingredients, that's what separates us from most products on the market. Because when you pull that up, you can look at these trademarked ingredients. Let's start with the Imodium. That is a patented research version of glutathione. It's the most bioavailable form of glutathione. The BioCell collagen, and the Imodium's in things like Live Complete, in our greens. The BioCell has been used in HA+, which really was before Nutritional Frontiers and Dr. Weiner's label. DMG, dimethylglycine, 5 US patents. So we use over 50 of these ingredients, Len. So maybe you can comment a little bit on the clinical efficacy when using the trademarked ingredients in a formula versus generic products. What has been your experience with the results?
Well, let me just start out with HA+. And it's one that I personally take. Back in the day of playing football, I've abused the body, and I've paid the price. I've had to have a knee replacement on the right side, but I was trying to hold on to my shoulders on my left side. And when you look at human physiology and you're looking at getting an ingredient from point A, which is you consume it, point B, which is you digest it, and point C, which is you need to assimilate it into the bloodstream. And that can be done with a lot of different entities, a lot of different products. But once it's in the bloodstream, it has to be to a specific molecular weight and size in order to go through the circulatory system to the site of activity. So when you're looking at something like HA+, and I'm looking at it as an anti-inflammatory, joint support, ligament support, collagen support, I've got to get it there. So unless you have the smallest molecular weight and you have the most bioavailable forms, you can't get it to those sites. And you look at all of those. Curcumin, you just get to the top of the board. Curcumin's very popular. A lot of people will see it. You'll see it from 99 cents up to $100 for various bottles. But you have to have what's called bioavailability, which means I can get it, I can digest it, get it through the stomach acid, get it into the system, and then be able to get it to the site of activity in the body. As God created our bodies, we have these receptor sites all through there. Curcumin, we have those, it says here, recovery, cardiovascular health, endothelial function to the arteries, limit post-exercise pain. When you use something like this and you want to take an analgesic and you see that the majority of the Americans are popping bottles and bottles of Aleve over and over again, or ibuprofen over and over again, destroying their stomach, you have a product like this, which you see 46 times greater absorption than standardized curcumin. 46 times better absorption. So what's that mean? I can theoretically take less, I can take it less often, and I can get a better result. And that's what we're looking for. If you're going to make a leap, and you're going to leap from ibuprofen to curcumin, you want to take the best product that's available. And I'll say this part, not only are these trademark products, but Jamie has done a magnificent job of keeping the price points where they need to be. These could become very, very expensive, and you'll see some out there that are. And Nutritional Frontiers has prided itself in keeping the products at a reasonable, decent price for you, the consumer, so that you can get these things, take them on a regular basis, and then make this leap to get your body in a better shape than where it is right now.
Well, I love it, Len, because the clinical efficacy is really our objective. Better results and better health for the business model. So we're trying to accomplish both for you and the patient, because it's really important to address those, right? So these trademark, patented research ingredients, it's imperative to your success that you're using those. Our formulas are not available on Amazon, so if you see them on there, they could be counterfeit, they can be old, they could be expired. So you have to buy them through Nutritional Frontiers website, or you can buy them through your healthcare professional or wowpgh.com. So they're available by e-commerce, but not on third party like Amazon. They have to be tied into some kind of healthcare professional so that you make sure you're getting the right formulations and you're using them properly.
Let's talk for a minute about the leap again, Jamie. Taking this leap. Now, let me just first say this. We're going to talk about the top 10 categories today. Top 10 that can, by admittance, by traditional medicine. Traditional medicine has published this. These are the top 10 categories that they say you should go to a practitioner and work on first before going to your medical practitioner. This is where you go first. Doctors are being instructed. When you have one of these situations come up, instead of you trying to write a prescription for it, send them to somebody that knows what they're doing, that they can work with this. But you have to do this with an ounce of caution. Do this under the auspices of your doctor. If you're hearing us talk today about cancer, and it's going to come up on here, cancer, by all means, you don't stop your chemotherapy by something that we're saying today. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about the fact that preventative methodologies of preventing cancer is a much better way to go than waiting till the fact and then trying to attack it from that perspective. So again, you've got to make the leap from conventional medicine to a holistic or a more natural approach. Why? Because the majority of pharmaceuticals come with a lot of baggage. They come with side effects. They come with cost. They come with a detrimental effect. They are interfering with a normal functionality in the human body. Where the more natural approaches that we're talking about today actually accentuate a normal pathway in the human body in order to get the results, to get from point A to point B. So again, listen to these top 10, jot them down, go back and listen to this again. These are the top 10 categories that medicine has. We didn't come up with this list. Medicine came up with this list saying these are some of the most common situations which should be treated on a more holistic or natural approach.
Yeah, I love that approach, Len, because what happens oftentimes is people will call you or me and say, hey, do I go holistic or I go medical, right? Well, it doesn't have to be like that. What's happened that we got to change is the order, right? So you want to try lifestyle. You want to try using the shakes. You want to try using the supplementation and nutraceuticals, always as a first line of defense. Which then happen later on if you're not getting results and you're really doing everything properly, is get the testing you need to figure out the underlying cause. And as a last resort to keep you alive, then you can go medical and surgical, right?
Amen.
So what happens is the order has been flip-flopped, or people think it's an either or. You should use everything at your disposal. However, use the safest, most effective methods first. Then you can always explore other options down the road, because oftentimes people get a condition or a disease like autoimmune. The doctor will say, let's start you with NSAIDs, and when it gets really bad, sulfasalazine, methotrexate. Well, hold on, doc, what do you mean when it gets bad? They don't have an answer. They already know it's going to progress. Then they're going to bring in the heavy medications with heavy side effects. So I love your approach. Let's jump right into it, Len.
Yeah, let me just say one other thing before we get involved. You don't see Nutritional Frontiers running commercials on Fox News. Okay, let's be honest. The expenses of doing that is astronomical. But you did see companies like Balance of Nature doing that. And Balance of Nature just got their hands slapped rather substantially by the FDA. Why? Because they're making claims. And Jamie will preempt anything that we ever say, saying that we are not trying to cure or change anything in particular. We're trying to assist the human body in its natural approaches. Balance of Nature is starting to make claims. These things can turn around. Cancer can turn around. Hormonal issues can turn around. Well, they got slapped down and all their commercials were pulled off TV. But a whole lot of people, and a lot of people I talk to, have fell prey to those commercials. You got to listen to shows like this. In fact, every Monday morning, you've got to listen to Joe and Jamie on the show every week to get what's going on from a healthcare perspective each and every week. Let's get to number one, Jamie. Number one is allergies. It is it's the most common. What do? Typically, medicine says take an antihistamine, and if you've noticed now, the FDA is now coming down on phenylephrine. They're now trying to say that phenylephrine, which is one of the few antihistamines that's still around, that's still in a lot of over-the-counter preps, they're now saying, after these 40 years of using phenylephrine, it's not effective. So they're planning on banning it because it's not effective. So again, the whole over-the-counter market is going to be disrupted again. But when you look at allergies, number one, we'd like to find out, what are you allergic to? What are we working with? What can we do? Number two, the traditional medical model is, let's give you an antihistamine and typically steroids. So from a more holistic standpoint, we should consider testing, taking a look at what we might be allergic to, whether it's foods or environmental issues, try to stay away from those the best we can, and then moving into supportive nutraceuticals. My list: N-acetylcysteine, my personal friend, buffered vitamin C, Live Complete. And we're going to talk about in each and every one of these and why each and every one of those are so important, including Air Max, and why they make such a huge difference in the world of allergies. So Jamie, let's just talk about Air Max. I want to go there first. I think that is one of the tops in the line when somebody is saying, man, I'm stuffed up, I'm having trouble breathing, I'm having all kind of allergic reactions. I'm coming in with some buffered vitamin C, and then I'm also coming in with Air Max. And I think that is just a tremendous prep that can make a huge difference. There we go. One more slide. There we go. So there is our foundation. You know, if you are suffering, you know, and you're having a hard time dealing with allergies, I like to start out with buffered vitamin C, 2 to 6 grams a day. They're 1,000 milligrams per capsule. Start giving your body a natural steroid effect. I like to use Live Complete. Why? Because it does approach glutathione again, and it helps the liver in its excretion of histaminic inflammatory markers that are circulating in the body. So again, if you support the liver functionality, you start to help the body get rid of some of those inflammatory markers. N-acetylcysteine, NAC, open up the lungs, keep the kidney functioning. So we're moving fluid through the body. What's the old wives' tale? Drink a bunch of fluids and have some chicken noodle soup, right? N-acetylcysteine can help the kidneys in moving fluid throughout the body. And I'm going to go to my favorite, and it's foundational for me and every single patient I work with, which is the Ultimate Shake. And I'm going to let Jamie talk about that one, because to me, that has to be the first line of approach for any of these natural approaches.
Yeah, so Ultimate Shake is food. As simple as that. It's food. It's powdered-based food. It's not a supplement. It's a meal replacement powder. It's a food. So why would you do a shake? Well, we know exactly what's in it. And we're trying to get a metabolic shift to occur so the body's burning fat naturally. It's balancing blood sugar. It's increasing energy, right? It's eliminating cravings. And the way you do that is you give it the right food. Food's information, right? So if you ate donuts for breakfast, your blood sugar would go up. You know, you would have high insulin levels, high blood sugar, high fat storage, high cravings, and then energy would be inconsistent. And then you'd be craving again some kind of stimulant. So what we want to do is give information, the food that's information that's going to balance your blood sugar, stimulate energy expenditure, burning calories. And the way you do that is with something like Ultimate Shake. So it has your macronutrient blend, all your protein, carb, fat, and fiber. It's a vegan protein, so you don't have to worry about food allergens. We also have MCT oil. It's a great fat to help stimulate energy burning, right? So that combined with the fiber that's in here, it gives you a whole macronutrient profile. And then the micronutrient, the vitamin mineral we put in here, a lot of companies put window dressing, even the big, great companies. So no, we use actually active vitamins, tracks chelated minerals, and then we actually fortify it with extra liver support with things like DMG and NAC. and all the phase 2 amino acid donors. So what you get in the Ultimate Shake is exactly that. It's an ultimate food. And you know how much food is, Len, these days. I mean, being out on the road and everything, how much is the average lunch? $20 a person now to get
At
good
least,
quality
yeah,
protein?
exactly.
Yeah. So this is less than $3 a meal. You get a free blender bottle when you do it. You have the recipe guide. You can do it as simply as adding water to it, or if you have a blender and you have some time, make a nice smoothie with it. So Ultimate Shake and Super Shake, those are the foundations for me every day. That's my first meal of the day. If I don't do it, maybe because of a work event, I can tell later on that I didn't do my shake. So right now I'm trying to do 2 shakes a day. You know why? It's holiday season, and the holidays are only certain days. So I don't throw the towel in at Halloween. I actually start really fine-tuning my shake protocol. That way I can have a little more food at night. I can have a little bit of treat now and then, but I'm getting that 2 shakes a day in because I want my information, my food information, to tell my body to increase my metabolic rate without any stimulating effect.
That's so powerful, Jamie. And we've said this many, many times, and I've said it. You know, I tell everybody, let's start out with the Ultimate Shake. Let's do that for a week to 2 weeks. You tell me how you feel. And I will tell you, it pretty doggone close to 100% of the time, the person that starts giving the body the nutrients that are in there, they start feeling better. So if you're suffering from allergies, here's a great protocol you're looking at. And across the top, it said quercetin buffered C. That's a protocol that I worked on for many years called the steroid hormone bridge. And if you want more details on that, we can get it to you. But if somebody is on steroids for allergies and wants to wind down off of those, you can actually build a steroid effect by taking quercetin dihydrate, which is the good form of quercetin that Jamie has put in that prep, along with buffered C, and you get a steroid type effect, lower the steroid issue within the body that you're currently taking, and be able to get you off without any side effects whatsoever.
Well, I love it, Len. You've been the pioneer in our field, going back over 40 years, and that's one of your really, unique tips that you give people, that steroid bridge. So I'm glad that you created that and have promoted it because it's helped so many people.
Okay, Bill, can we move to the next slide? Alzheimer's. Now, I just want to make a real quick one here to say Alzheimer's is now, as of the end of 2023, moved up to the number 5 cause of death in this country. Now, a lot of us think of Alzheimer's as just an old folks disease. You know, it's losing your memory. This is a terminal illness. And by their own admittance, every single pharmaceutical that has come out, and this is from my pharmacy perspective, you're looking at that second line, 37% effective at preventing progression. That means 63% of the time it fails, and it doesn't even slow down progression. So if you have somebody that maybe has a genetic link to Alzheimer's or is having some slight memory issues right now, okay, this is where you want to go. So here's the products that we look at that are supportive. And I'll go back to that first slide again to say the brain-gut link is one of the big, see that last one? Probiotics, the brain-gut link. If you look at Alzheimer's patients as a grouping, and you take 100 Alzheimer's patients and you do a GI study on them, you're going to find that the greatest majority of them are having overgrowth of bad bacteria, probably almost 80 to 85% of them, and not taking probiotics on a regular basis. So again, if you start out, and we can go to the next slide, looking at GI Complete, which I believe, Jamie, you said now has moved its way back up to number 1.
Number 1, Len. You know, it's a close battle because we have GI Complete with 2 flavors in a capsule, and lean greens and apple cinnamon and chocolate. So right now we're running the totals for the year, so it's coming down to the wire.
I love it. It's a nice race. And again, Brain Boost, I'm going to go back to some of the original work that was done years ago, actually in Mexico, about some of the issues that are in there, some of the Bacopa and some of the other issues that are brain boosters. These aren't the ones that come from, what are the commercials on TV? This is from a jellyfish. No, these are ingredients that have been patented and have been known to improve circulation to the brain, moving nutrients to the brain so that you can put up a defensive shield toward an issue like Alzheimer's or memory loss, etc. And acetylcysteine, again, boosting glutathione So there's a lot of different ways. You heard us talk about Emotion. You could add the greens to this as well. More glutathione. The largest reservoir of glutathione in our body is in our brains. So if we boost glutathione levels in the brain, you'll start to see an improvement in functionality. And lastly, the brain is primarily fat. And if you look at that, the right forms of omega oils on a regular basis can make a huge difference. And Jamie, one of the first products I went to when I met you way back in the day was the fish oil. And I wanted to make sure that I had a quality prep that was done correctly. And the Omega 3D was the first product, I believe, besides Probezymes that I jumped on.
Yeah, I love it. You know, back, or whatever it was, 20 plus years ago, you guys were looking for a high quality fish oil. You had tried some, you created one on your own, and then you were like, how can we make it better? So I said, let's do a liquid. And then in our soft gel, we actually added vitamin D3 in the natural form. So you have options, folks. And I loved how you create this nice bundle with the second brain, the gut and the brain. And Brain Boost is actually in our top 7 sellers this year.
Nice. Nice, 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 nice. All right, let's move on to number 3. Folks, keeping tabs. What do we have first? Allergies. Number 2, Alzheimer's. Now we move into cardiovascular disease. Number 1, risk of death worldwide. It's now estimated, I just see, that there will be, I just saw it this morning, 631 million individuals will die in the next 5 years from cardiovascular death. That's twice the population of the United States. Obesity is playing a concern. Stroke, heart attack potential, etc. So again, what we feel strongly from a more naturopathic approach is that inflammation is the bottom line driver here. We put down at the bottom 2 tests that you should ask your doctor for, or if you paid attention to Tracy's lectures this week on actually interpreting blood work, HSCRP, high specificity C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation in the circulatory system, and homocysteine. Both of those are markers of cardiovascular risk factors that can be affected by doing a more holistic view of support. And again, the preps here are rather simple. So we can move on to the next slide, which this is just another lab that we utilize. It just happens to be one that isolates some of the factors that can be tested for. We can do that on a one-on-one basis with any of your practitioners. And the next slide shows some of the big 3 products that I really do like. And I personally, the nitric oxide boost that you see from CircuCore, to me, is one of the groundbreaking products. You know, when I saw the commercials on TV for the various chews, you know, we look at the chews that are out there and they're boosting nitric oxide with these things.
The
coming,
from
a natural source. When I saw that in CircuCore and I started to produce or started to utilize this with patients that had cardiovascular disease, combined with Omega 3D, again, the superior triglyceride form of fish oil, and CardioStack. And Jamie, I'm going to let you talk about CardioStack, because when you put together a stack of 3 essential nutrients, a lot of people will do this 3 separate products. They put it together in one that support cardiovascular health.
Yeah, that's what I want to comment on. That we just talked about the Omega 2800 liquid. Here's a soft gel combining 2 of the top 3 nutritional deficiencies in the world, which are omega-3 fish oils and vitamin D3. So that's what we do in Nutritional Frontiers, is we create unique formulations so they're more comprehensive. You don't have to buy as many product when you get the formulas. And CardioStack's an example. L-carnitine is a big seller at the Wellness Center. People like L-carnitine. It pulls lipids out of the blood, converts them into ATP, which is energy inside the mitochondria. So it's great for cardiovascular patients to burn up some of those lipids in the blood, and also for people who want to lose body fat. So we took the L-carnitine and we said, okay, there's thousands of L-carnitines out there. What can we do to make this a stack? So you, Joe, Mikey, Tracy, the entire team got together and we said, okay, we want CardioStack in there. We want the L-carnitine in the CardioStack. What else can we put? Well, the obvious answer was what, Joe? DMG, darn mighty good. And the next thing you think about heart health, CoQ10. So when you buy the CardioStack, you actually are buying L-carnitine and getting DMG and CoQ10 for free, Len.
That's right. And the combination of the 3 work in what they call synergism. They work off one another to support the cardiovascular system, to help the circulatory system stay strong, to keep the vascular system open so that you don't worry about having impedance anywhere in that circulatory system. So there's a three-pronged approach right there that if you are suffering from cardiovascular disease or you have a family history of that, that's a simple way to put together a supportive protocol to keep those risk factors down. It lowers inflammation markers. It keeps the body healthier.
I love that analogy, Len, right? So your arteries are getting congested. Think about traffic, right? When you're driving your car, you get traffic. There's a lot of ways to take care of that, right? Maybe there's construction they need to clear, an accident, or rush hour, right? So the same thing in your arteries. There's a lot of congestion going on, a lot of traffic going on from inflammation, plaquing, cholesterol, bad fats in the diet, blood sugar circulating. So the nutrients in these formulas right here are going to help get the traffic to slow down, get the arteries to allow the blood to flow and improve the viscosity. So these are all great formulations, especially when you get the synergy not of each formula, but all three together. What a great bundle you created, Len.
That is just tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. Next is cancer. And let me just say this, the first two lines really say it, because we get more resistance from physicians on this than anything. Oncologists as a whole, 98% of them that are surveyed tell their patients to stop everything. My point is, if you keep your line of communication open with your doctor, and a lot of times you will hit resistance, but if you have a practitioner that is well versed on how to support around a particular chemotherapeutic agent or whatever the issues are, you must do this with a grain of salt, and you must have an open communication with your oncologist. The only one that I would say you have to be careful with is N-acetylcysteine. There is a drug-nutrient interaction there with about 16 to 17% of chemotherapeutic agents. It actually will slow down the efficacy. So the only supplement that I know that has any interactions with any of the chemotherapeutic agents is NAC. That's the only one that I would recommend staying away from. And the next slide gives you a good, nice foundation. The next two slides, I'm sorry. And when you look at this, and I got to say, this is from the gut guy. That's me talking to you. If you're battling something in the field of cancer, whether it's prostate cancer, breast cancer, they're all unfortunate. I'm a cancer survivor myself. It's now 12 years since I had kidney cancer.
Congratulations, Len. God bless, friend.
This list right here, every day, vitamin D, every day, buffered C, every day, Immunomax, every day, GI Complete. That's my foundation right there. Because I will say this from the gut guy to you, if you do nothing more, if you're battling cancer and you're on a chemotherapeutic agent, if you start GI Complete, it starts to take away the potential for some of that nausea. It helps to get the remnants of the chemotherapeutic agent out of your system in a more efficacious way. It helps to keep the bowels stabilized. So if you can do that and keep the appetite up during that battle with cancer, you can then tolerate the chemotherapeutic agent on a better level. So again, this is a nice little bundle that is a good starting place. There's a lot more that you can get into, but if you're just starting to lay out a plan, this is a good bundle right here.
Well, I love it. Those are tried and tested, improving formulations. I know you've been getting great results. And the first are actually part of our immune kit. Mm-hmm. So you get the D3, the buffered C, the Immunomax. We also add in Super Zinc and quercetin. So these are all formulations that work great by themselves, but when you put them together, the synergy is second to none.
Amen. All right, the next one down the list as we go down these top 10 list is gut health. The number one category in Walgreens is laxatives and antacids. The number one in CVS, laxatives and antacids. The number one category of natural products at Amazon, antacids and laxatives. It's where most people are suffering. Now, I love that term leaky gut syndrome. When we have bad food, bad digestion, lifestyle's bad, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, whatever, you go down the list of all the bad things, we start to deteriorate gut health. And I will say this, I can say from my research over the last 30 years, at least 90% of all ALL, all illnesses are linked to gut health. So if you can support gut health on any of these 10 in this list, I believe you're starting to get ahead of the game. Chronic constipation, chronic diarrhea, the brain gut link, emotional state, dealing with anxiety going into the holiday season, layer in some GI Complete and watch how much better you feel and how much better your body's producing the neurotransmitters that are necessary to help you deal with whatever that is that you're dealing with.
That's the old motto from the naturopath, right? Health and death begins in the gut and colon. You know, when I was doing consults for years at the Wine and Wellness Center, eventually then all I started doing is putting people on a GI cleanse the first month, which is Super Shake in the morning, Candy Kill in the morning, and Superbiotics at night.
Yep.
Then I would add in the GI Complete after. But until you actually clean up the gut, the liver, and the colon, doesn't matter what you do. You're not absorbing any of your nutrients. You're not cleansing and detoxifying. So there's plenty of products out there, but you need to have really strong gut health. And as a gut guy, who else would know more than you on this? Nobody.
And keep in mind, folks, when you hear me talk at the very beginning of this to Jamie saying, I understand now that GI Complete has moved its way up to the #1 in units being sold by Nutritional Frontiers. There's a reason. It's not going to become #1 if it doesn't work. So when you put together a prep like this in 2 different flavors, I mean to tell you, it is supportive, and the results that we get, I would have to say 90 to 95% of the time, we get a very positive result, and that person then can move forward as far as their health goes.
Yeah, I love it. We were working on about 5 different individual products when I was doing the consults, and we're in product development. So we use things like glutagenics and endorphin and Zinlori and aloe vera and slippery elm and marshmallow. And we like, can we actually put these together? Can we add in DMG? Can we make this really a complete formula? There's 1 or 2 other ones on the market that are good, but none are as comprehensive as a GI Complete. Another example, Len, of rather than buying 7 products, you buy 1 formula, get the synergy already built in, and eliminates all the guessing and the extra cost. Because as you said, if it's a top seller, that means people are getting great results.
You know, and I do it for my wife every morning. I get her Yeti out every morning, and I put in a scoop of GI Complete. She uses some buffered C and an anti-inflammatory using X-Flame, and we put it together. And I shake it up, put some ice on it, and she doesn't make it a task. You know, she has a lot of different health issues, but she sips on this all day. Keeps her hydrated, keeps the gut function correct, and it just makes her feel better. It gets a better anti-inflammatory effect from the X-Flame, so that you're able to get a more comprehensive support to the human body by starting out with a foundation of GI Complete. I love that concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just showed the video last week, the year in review, and one of the incredible testimonials, I had not seen it before, was on a young woman from the Atlanta area, and she's a cancer survivor 1 year, and she went on a vacation to celebrate her 1-year anniversary of being cancer-free, went to Hawaii for 2 weeks and did not bring the GI Complete. And what did she say happened around that 8th day, 9th day?
Yeah, she slipped backwards real fast.
She can tell the difference.
Yep.
She goes, you know, I didn't think a couple weeks would make a difference. And when she got back on the GI Complete and feeling good again. And some people say, well, you got to keep taking it. Only if you want to feel good. It's just like drinking water, eating food. You have to do it every day, yes.
We have to eat every day? Yes.
Well,
Yes.
if you want to feel good, you do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this is another one of the biggies, diabetes. 2 out of 3 Americans now are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And again, we're going to be honest with you, diet and exercise and lifestyle has to be first. You got to watch what you're putting into the body. But again, we're going to talk about a couple preps here that I got to tell you, there's a lot of preps on the market to help with blood sugar regulation. There's a lot of them. I have not seen anything like Glucolyze that has been so effective, and the berberine that's in there and a lot of the different issues. And again, we're adding this to the weight reduction protocols. That's what I like, is when you see all the individuals doing these semaglutide injections and all these other issues, there's a way to do this on a more natural approach without having to go through the expense or even the risk factors of semaglutide. And you can use this as a foundational prep and again, can make a huge difference in balancing your blood sugars. But I love Glucolas.
Oh, absolutely. Great protocol. And as we were talking earlier, I mentioned Candy Kill, right? Because one of the best things you can do to get your body under control, get the blood sugars balanced, and start burning fat, right? People either storing fat or burning fat. And we don't use any stimulants to do this. But the Candy Kill, the whole idea of this is we want to starve the candida, that you off sugar, processed foods, and dairy. We want to kill it with the Candy Kill, and then replace the nutrients with things like GI Complete and probiotics. So what a great protocol for blood sugar, GI health, and weight. And then you get the secondary positive side effect, Len, of the second brain being clean. Now your mood's better. You ever notice that when people hit day 3 and 4, they start to say, hey, I'm not having the cravings, I'm not having the mood swings, I'm not getting depressed during the day, I'm not super anxious, because you're cleaning out the intestinal tract and allowing all the hormones to get restored in a natural way.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is another hot topic right now. We're seeing on the news every day that some unknown variant is now coming out of China. Time 2, times 3, times 4, times whatever. There's some form of COVID coming again. And I have done my podcast over this last week looking at the risk factors, and I'm not going to get into that right now with all the different issues with vaccines. I know you have approached that this week, Jamie. But again, you need to support your immune system. The CDC, the World Health Organization, the FDA all say you must do something on a natural extract, a natural product to support yourself, because we're moving into peak season. It's December now. We're going into the flu season. We're now all of a sudden RSV, and vaccines for RSV have surfaced. Initially on the market for children, stopping whooping cough. Then we moved it into grandparents because we didn't want the grandparents bringing in whooping cough to the babies. Now they're saying anybody over the age of 50 should have one of those vaccines for an upper respiratory problem. Support yourself. And I got to tell you this right now. If you don't have an immune kit at your house right now, it's self-explanatory. It gives you a foundational prep for you and the entire family. The directions are clear. It's so simple. There's even a little bottle of a hand spray in there to clean the hands. You need to have an immune kit in your home right now. Get ready for this season.
It's simple and easy to use. You take one a day of each. When you feel the first sign or symptom of getting sick, for me it's temperature change where I get chills. Then you go to 4 a day of each. So simple, safe, and effective. It's great for the family. And you got to have it on hand, Len. Can you explain the importance of that? Because when people say it's running the course, they waited 3 or 4 days. It's almost too late.
Yeah, you have to have a foundational laid down for the human body. If the body is running on a certain level of these nutrient factors to support the white blood cells to become as active as they can. If you let those levels drop down, such as vitamin D, such as vitamin C in your system, and you let those levels start to drop, all of a sudden your immune system cannot work fast enough that upon exposure, you're exposed to somebody who coughs, your body should be able to rapidly go after it and get it out of your system. But if there's a delay of any sorts, the odds are you're going to come down with that same issue again. I just got back from Pittsburgh. I was there for 3 days, had a wonderful time with my kids and with all the people from Nutritional Frontiers. And I sat on a plane next to the window, next to this woman who coughed and sneezed on me the whole time. And I got off the plane and I could feel it. It didn't take long, but I came home, took an extra dose of buffered vitamin C and D. Next morning I was fine. So I'm not Superman. I'm not even young anymore. I mean, I don't even want to go there. But, support your immune system on a regular, ongoing basis. Don't wait. This is a kit that you can take on a regular basis and make sure that you're supporting your system for you and your family. Don't forget your teenagers. Make sure that they are being supported as well. They're in school. They're being exposed every single day.
That was a great explanation. I love how you make it so simple to utilize the kit. And like you said, this needs to be in your wellness cabinet, right?
Yep.
This needs to be at home taking it every day, get that first sign of symptom, let's increase it to at least 4 per day, and I guarantee you'll cut down on the duration and the intensity. You may not knock it out 100% right away, depending on when you interact, but I guarantee that the duration and the intensity will be dramatically less.
Okay, the next issue is inflammation. Since 2003, Time Magazine article that stated inflammation is the root of all disease. You can move to the next slide, which is a picture of that cover, Time Magazine. Again, this is going all the way back to 2003. This is not a medical journal, but they said, look at the surprising link between inflammation, heart attack, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases. This is 20 years ago. What can you do to fight it? That's what Time Magazine asked back in 2003. This next slide is going to tell you a foundational approach to be able to reduce inflammation in the body and get the body fighting inflammation on a regular basis. These are the two that I bundled together. I love SPM, Specialized Pro-Resolving Mediators. I mean, you introduced those to me, Jamie, when I had broken ribs, and I was hurting like there was no tomorrow, and it stopped that pain in its tracks. I had to take a nice high dose on a regular basis. And Inflam, you know, I've had people say, like, there's 180 capsules in there. How many do I have to take? So you have to take whatever it is to reduce the inflammation. You're hurting,
Thanks, right?
3, 4, or 5 at a time, and take that until you start to feel the difference. You start lowering the inflammation in the body so the body can function on a different level. You can use these two together to make a major change in reducing inflammation in the body.
Yeah, I think when you have an acute situation versus a chronic versus a prevention, the dosing should be adjusted. So what's your thoughts on that, Len? I normally say SPMs and Inflam, right, for prevention is 3 a day, for chronic to be 3 to 6, and for acute 6 to 12.
And I know those numbers sound like a lot, but you know what? Is it worth it to lower that pain and inflammation? I mean, I can't tell you how many of you would grab for the bottle of ibuprofen and take a handful of those and tear apart your stomach. This is a natural approach to keeping inflammation on a level basis and taking it down. And I'm telling you, SPMs, let me just say this, Jamie, I'm waiting to get the final results back, but for 12 years now, I said I was a cancer survivor. And for 12 years, my kidney numbers have been up. And the surgeon that did my surgery 12 years ago said, you know what, don't worry about it. It's always going to be elevated. Since I've been taking SPMs on a regular basis, for the first time on the last set of labs, my numbers came down into the normal range. They've been up 12 years.
Yeah,
12 years.
SPMs
SPMs have made a major difference in lowering those kidney numbers to bring them down into the normal range. So I can say this, SPMs are saving my kidneys for the remaining part of my life. I will say that, and I'm not making a claim. I'm just saying, for me, it's working on an amazing basis.
Well, congratulations, Len. We love hearing those success stories, especially from our own team, because we all practice what we preach.
Amen. You know what? We're going to be running out of time here. Let me just go through the list real quick, Jamie, on what the other topics were that we were going to talk about. Obesity, and I want to talk about this one real quick because this has been a blowout product that has just been absolutely fabulous. I'm on my second month of this. I did take a picture of me standing there with a shirt off 2 months ago. And I will put a picture of me in another month with my shirt off again. And I'm going to see the before and after, and I'll share it with you once I do this because I've been using it now for going on my 3rd month. And I'm telling you, what a difference this product makes.
Yeah, I noticed that for me, I don't eat as much in general, right? I'm not hungry and I have tremendous energy without being stimulated. So that's what I noticed. I noticed with my daughter, she's a teacher, she's 25. Went down to visit her outside of DC last month, and we went to eat twice in the 2 days I was there. You know, we had some meals at her house and no dessert, Len. I says, babe, you're not gonna order any dessert? She says, no. I says, why? She goes, I've eliminated my sweet tooth. I says, how? She says, thermogenesis complete, Dad.
Amen.
So you know, it's nice when you hear that, especially from your family and friends and yourself. What has been some of the things you've noticed on thermogenesis complete?
You know, I don't care who you are. My wife and I have made a habit of, since I'm staying at home most times and working on the computer or going out playing golf, that we're trying to eat our biggest meal of the day about 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And when
Perfect.
you do that, and I'm trying to get myself down where I have a shake in the morning, the big meal at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, something very light around 6. But in most cases, I don't need anything at 6. And typically, when I've done this, around 7:30, 8 o'clock, you could almost kill for potato chips or crackers or something, ice cream. And that has just disappeared. That my stomach isn't growling. I'm not sitting here saying, my God, it's been 6 to 8 hours since I ate anything, but I'm still doing okay. And I'm sleeping better than ever. So since I've done that, it's kept my blood sugars right where they need to be. I'm sleeping better, and the cravings have pretty much disappeared.
Ah, fantastic. Love to hear it.
And the last category that we were going to talk about was Parkinson's. And I think really the issue here, Jamie, if we can bring it back even to the website, is to have individuals go watch that video. The power of watching the natural approach toward Parkinson's and neurological issues is just amazing.
It's
You
a
can
great.
look at that, and it's fabulous.
Let's click to the website to show people where that video is. I'm not sure if we're able to play it via Zoom, but let's just show them how to find it. So you go to nutritionalfrontiers.com. You have the 4 headers there, and each has 4 drop-down menus. So if you go to testimonials, patient testimonial and video gallery, click on that. You'll see all the testimonials and videos pop up. Great thing is these are all free, so you can actually check out some of the Nutritional Frontiers trainings and education events that are national events to attend. So I'm not sure if we're able to pull it up. Yeah, it just takes a minute or two. So if you click on that and you go down, you'll see all the different videos that are available. And it's Parkinson's. Normally, Len, in your experience, in my too, I normally see the end result with the video. I like how you took the picture with your shirt off beforehand and take it afterwards. This Parkinson's case study actually shows before, during, and after.
Right.
So maybe just give us a 1-minute summary on that, because I know they utilize 8 Enter CoQ10, which is DMG CoQ10 300 milligram, Daisy Omega 3D soft gels, and CBD. So what's your thoughts on the result?
From a pharmaceutical perspective, we've been using the same approach pharmacists have and physicians have toward Parkinson's disease, which again is surging. We never thought we'd see a surge in Parkinson's in this country, but it is. And again, using these 2-pronged approach of dopamine preps along with another entity in there to take care of the side effects. So we have 2 drugs put together, one to take care of the side effect of the other. And by their own admittance, again, about 30% effective in slowing down the advancement of Parkinson's. And again, you got to go to a higher and a higher dose, but we're really not seeing any way of slowing this thing down. This idea that we're talking about took place in 2018, where a fellow had volunteered to become part of a study. And if you look at Parkinson's patients, the one thing that they lose right away is balance. Because it's neurological, because it affects the brain, the capability of standing on one foot or actually walking in a normal method where you're actually letting your arms wave side by side goes away, and you can't hardly walk a straight line. This fella had submitted to that and started on this protocol. Within a short period of time, one of the real tests for a Parkinson's patient is riding a bicycle, because that balance issue that they lose forbids them from being able to balance on a bicycle. This fella, in a very short period of time, was up and walking and was up riding a bicycle and doing an amazing job of just turning himself.
Let's check out the video. That looks like we
Here we go. Watch this.
Phil, hit it. Len, you can narrate if you like.
Yeah, 65-year-old man, and you'll see him having a hard time standing. See, he keeps falling back and forth. He can't stand on one foot. And I want you to look at his face as well, because people with Parkinson's, and you notice where his arms are at his side, he's not letting his arms go side to side. That's a balance thing. The body's trying to balance. Now look at this, 4 days. Do you see his arms? Look at his face. He actually has a direct glaze. Here's 9. 9 days into this, he's balancing on one leg. That is unheard of in the medical world. Look at this, side by side. Now again, if you watch him walk, he sees his arms starting to move again. He's getting his confidence and his balance back. And again, look at his face. His sight was going downward. Now he's looking straight ahead. And here he is on day 17, riding a bike for the first time in years. That to me was a home run to the nth degree. And this fella, this is in July 30th of 2018, from all indications is still doing extremely well. And again, watch this. He puts his foot down on the ground with ease. Typically, this would be a Joe Biden fall off the bike and crash. There we go. Here he is walking. Here's day 61. Look at the confidence in walking. Quick movements, walking a straight line, not risking falling. It's an amazing difference that you see in this fella.
I love the protocol. It's simple, safe, and effective. We went up to 8 of the N of CoQ10. Because if you look at the published data, it shows for neurological 1,200 for CoQ10, 1,200 for DMG. And we're able to do that with chewables. And then we have the soft gels of the omega-3D at 4 a day, and only 1 serving of the hemp extract. So that shows you how nutritionally deficient people are.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Well, thanks, Dr. Len. As always, tremendous presentation. So many people are texting me right now, asking question after question, so I have to get back to them today.
Yeah, let me just finish with this, Jamie. I got a little thing that I carry with me. It says, never forget how far you've come. Everything you've gotten through, all the times you pushed on, even when you felt you couldn't, all the mornings you got out of bed, no matter how hard it was, all the times you wanted to give up, but God gave you the strength through the day and made a way when you saw no way. Thank him. Amen.
Amen. Thanks to you, Len. Thanks be to God, of course.
Enjoyable.
As is possible. And have a great holiday season. We're so excited for a record year we've helped so many people, and one of the biggest reasons is your education. So thank you, my friend. Greatly appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.